Hello my dear students, welcome to computer science class. Let us continue with our chapter, that is control statements. In our previous video classes, we have already started with the topic that is simple if statement, and then we have seen some programming examples. Before we proceed with the programming examples, let us have a quick glance on what is if statement and when we need to use the if statement and its working. So this simple if statement is being referred to as the one-way branching, and this statement is used to decide whether the statement or a set of statements to be executed or not. And these are we can decide based upon the condition, and this condition will be evaluated against the value that is true or false. True refers to the value as 1 and false refers to the value as 0. Now this is the syntax, that is a basic syntax we can write. If the single statement, if it is true, based upon this condition, if the condition is true, then the simple statement will be executed. That means this is considered to be as a true part of this if condition. Similarly, the if condition can have more than one as a true statement. If we have more than one statement as a true statement, then we can represent it in terms of block or the compound statement. What do you mean by block or compound statement? They are the set of instructions that have been separated by semicolon and they are enclosed within the flower braces. Now let us understand the flow chart. Okay, so how it is working. So this if condition is being represented in the flow chart by using the symbol that is rhombus. Rhombus is actually used for the decision making, and whenever we are representing this if condition in terms of flow chart, instead of writing here if, we have to write it as is condition. If this condition is true, then the true part of the statements will be executed. If the condition is false, automatically the control goes to the next statements. That means these statements will be skipped and then execution will continue from the next statement. Similarly, it will happen with the simple if statement. Then what is the working? Always this condition actually evaluated against 0 or 1s, and if the condition is true, as we know that statement 1 will be executed, else control goes to the next statement. Here always the condition or the expression must be put inside the parenthesis. Understood? Now let us continue with our programming example. I think this was the programming example lastly we had discussed. Same way I have one more example to find the largest, smallest and the second largest. Now let us consider the value of A to be as 100 and the value of B to be as 25 and the value of C to be as 1005. So before we start with this, to find the largest, second largest and the smallest, I am assuming the value of A to be as the largest, and I am even assuming the value of A to be as the smallest. Now when assuming A value as the largest, that means largest will hold the value as 100 and the smallest will hold the value as 100. Assuming in the sense what I am trying to move the value of A in another variable known as largest. Okay, so when I use this statement, the largest also will hold the value as 100 here. Similarly, the variable smallest also hold the 100 as the value. Now, when I am assuming the A value to be the largest, definitely I should compare with that one with the B and I should compare with the C. So therefore, by using the simple if statement, I have written this code. So if B is greater than largest, okay, what is the value of B? B is 25. Whether 25 is greater than largest, what does the variable largest is holding? It is holding the value as 100. If 25 is greater than 100, then the true part of this particular if statement is this one. This will execute. Otherwise, control automatically jumps to the next statement. Looking at this condition, whether 25 is greater than 100, no, the condition fails. Once the condition is failed, definitely it will skip this true part of the statement. In fact, the control goes to the next statement here. Again, here it is checking whether C is greater than the largest. What is the value of C? C value is 1005. So whether 1005 is greater than largest? Yes, the condition is true. Once the condition is true, this 1005 has to move in which variable, children? It has to move in the largest variable. Therefore, how do I write that statement? C by using the assignment operator and then followed by the variable name. So as per this, since the condition is being true, the value of C is being moved into the largest variable. So here the contents of the largest will be rewritten. Previously the largest variable was holding the value as 100 it was holding. Now the largest will be holding the new value, that is 1005. Now at this point we got the largest number. The next one, what we have to write the code for to find the smallest. Similarly, how we have compared the value of smallest with B and C, similarly I need to compare with the B and C in terms of programming here. So if B is less than smallest, so what is the value of B? B is actually what? 25. Whether 25 is less than 100? Yes. Since your condition is true, the true part of this if statement is this one. So this statement will get executed. Therefore, the value of B will be moved into the variable known as smallest, and the smallest contents will be rewritten, because earlier smallest was containing the value 100. Now once this condition is satisfying, its contents will be rewritten. Therefore, the smallest will hold the new value as here as 25. After that, the instruction goes to the next control goes to the next instruction. Again I need to compare the smallest value with the C also, right? If C is less than smallest, it is checking whether 1005 is less than 25. No, my condition is false here. Therefore, the true part of this if statement is this one. So this statement will get skipped. Therefore, the contents of smallest will be retained as it is, as the 25. Now next step is to find the second largest. So this is a standard formula it is. So A plus B plus C minus the largest value and the smallest value would give me the second largest. So after that you can print the largest, smallest and the second largest. I hope students you were able to understand. Okay, now moving on to the next program. That is, this is the last program in program as per your textbook for the simple if statement. Now this is the program wherein we need to find the total amount, input the total amount in a bill. If the amount is greater than 1000, the discount of 8% will be given. Otherwise, no discount is given. Output the total amount, the discount and the final amount. This means what? When you are purchasing something, if your total bill is about 1000 rupees, more than 1000 rupees if your bill is there, then they are giving you the 8% of discount. If less amount, if it has been done, less than 1000 if it is done, then no discount will be provided. So they are asking you to output in the sense to print the total amount, to print the discounted amount plus to print the final amount. Okay. How do I decide which are the variables I need to take? Now discount you are calculating, okay, all obviously I should take as a floating data type, isn't it? Because it may lead to in terms of points also. Therefore I have taken the float as a data type. Now how many variables you need? See, one thing is you need the variable to read the amount you need. One more variable to read the discount you need. After that, in order to print, they are asking you to print the total amount and the total discount. For that sake I am using another two variables here, net discount and net amount I am using. Then find next statement is clear screen. Next one is see out, enter the amount, and then we are reading the amount. See in amount we are reading whatever the user have typed as entered the value as 2000 from his keyboard. Then initially I am initializing the value for variable known as discount. Why I need to initialize? Okay, I could have written it here only, discount is equal to 0.0. That time, at this point of time also you can initialize, or any point of time in your programming. Any point of the time in your programming also you can initialize. So now I am going to use a discount, therefore in between I have initialized, okay, either here or you could have initialized here also. So I am telling that discount should hold an initial value as 0.0. That means what? Discount should not hold any other value. I am reinitializing it to 0.0. Suppose some other programs might have created a variable known as discount. okay, and there in the discount it might be already the value 50 is there. Now if you are using the same variable, it will include that 50 plus it will calculate the new value, it will include and give, which will become a wrong output for us. Therefore I am reinitializing the discount variable as 0.0. that means it is not containing any value. Now what is our condition? If amount is greater, they have given in the program name itself, if the amount is greater than 1000, then the discount of 8% should be given. Now what I have to check whether amount is greater than or equal to 1000. Understood? If the amount is greater than or equal to 1000, you need to calculate the discount amount. How do you calculate the discount? 8% they gave. 8% in the sense what? 8 divided by 100. So now this is what type of conversion it is? Explicit conversion. This is what? Explicit conversion. Why do you have to go for explicit conversion? Because discount is the one which has to hold the variable type is of type float, okay. But what it is? 8 and 100. 8 and 100 are of type what? It is integer they are. Therefore, if we had written discount is equal to 8 divided by 100, here it is everything is in integer, and here everything is, here discount type of variable is, it is a floating. So discount will never calculate. So what I am trying to do is, I am converting this 8 in terms of float, I am converting this 100 in terms of float. Therefore I have written 8 divided by 100, convert in terms of float. When it converts internally, it will become 8, instead of 8 it will become 8.0 divided by 100.0. That time I will answer what I will get here, 0.08. So that 0.08 will be moved into the discount only when you have entered the amount greater than 1000. So right now here I have entered the amount as 2000. Therefore 2000 is greater than or equal to 1000. Therefore my condition is satisfying. Hence the control comes to at this point, and then we are even calculating the discount. Now after calculating the discount, we need to deduct that discount. First for the for 2000 amount, 8% discount, how much we should calculate, correct or no? For 2000 amount, how much will become the 8% calculated discount, that discount amount I should calculate. Then the discounted amount I have to minus it. I need to minus it from the, that is amount. Therefore what it is, amount into discount means for 2000 into 0.08, when I do it, I'll get the answer as 160. That means for a 2000, 8% discount means how much discount you are getting? That is 160. Therefore I have stored it in a variable known as net discount. That is, this is the total discount I need to get for the 2000 amount. I hope you are able to understand. Later I need to deduct this one from the main account, and then I should give to the shopkeeper. Am I right? So for that I need to write deduct. So amount contains what? That is 2000. Am I right? Amount minus the net discount. That means 2000 minus 160. When we do it, we are getting the total net amount as 1840. So you have to pay to the shopkeeper as 1840. I hope children you are able to understand. And finally I need to print the net amount and the net discount. So net discount is what? The total discount on particular value. So therefore net discount is equal to this stream insertion followed by the variable name, that I will be getting here as 160. Similarly I need to even print the net amount. That means after the net discount, what will be the overall value that you have to pay is, that is 1840. Now here in simple, this is the program. Suppose what if I have written here 800. Okay, let me take the amount to be as 800. Whether 800 is greater than or equal to 1000? False. The condition is false. Therefore control will never execute this part of the statement, because this will be executed only if condition satisfies. Since my condition is not satisfying, it will never calculate the discounted amount. In fact, the control comes to this point, that is what? Amount into discount. Amount would be what? Here I told 800. 800 into 0.0. anything into 0.0 in the sense, obviously, because discounted value we are not calculating only. In fact, this statement will be skipped, and what is discount is holding the initial value, that is 0.0. Therefore 800 into 0.0 800 into 0.0, when it does, I got the answer will be 0. Therefore what does the net discount will hold? 0. Then net amount what will become? 800 minus net discount value would be 0. So 800 minus 0, then I'll be get the original amount also what I should pay to the shopkeeper, that will be remain as it is at the 800 only. I hope you are able to understand. Now let me explain you, and then let me show you the how we are executing the program. Okay, so I'll just open. I've already typed for you all, and then I have saved it also. This is my program name. I'll just click on open. Look at this. I've already written the program here. Okay, now let me execute. First, before that, compiling I should do. Compile, 0 errors I got, and then we have run option here. Click on the run. Now let me, what amount shall I give to children? 2000 only shall I give and show you? 2000. Now when I enter, look at here, the net discount is 160 and I got the total net amount as 1840. Similarly, shall I give the different output? Okay, again you have to go for the run. Let me enter the value here as 500. When I enter 500, I need to press enter. When I press enter, see here, net discount would be 0, because 500 into 0.0 it will calculate. So anything into multiplication 0.0, definitely it will lead to the 0 only. Therefore net amount would be, discount would be 0, and net amount will be as it is. I hope children you are able to understand here. 500 and net discount is 0 and net amount is 500. It remains as it is. Now let us move on to the next selection statement, that is the if-else statement. Okay, the if-else statement, like for simple if, how we are calling it as a one-way branching, same way here if-else statement is called as a two-way branching, children. Okay, it is called as a two-way branching. One second. Yeah, it's called as a two-way branching. Now let us see what is the main use of this particular if-else statement. It is used when there are alternative statements to be executed. See, like when we have based upon the condition, if the condition is satisfying, I will be executing the true part of the statement. If the condition doesn't satisfy, I will be executing the false part of the statement. In that case, when I have the alternative statements to be executed either in terms of true or false, then I'll go for the, that is if-else statement. I hope you are able to understand. Now this, it executes some set of statements when the given condition is true, and if the condition is false, then the other set of the statements will be executed. But in case of simple if, what happened? This true statement would be executed only when it is satisfying the given condition, and then otherwise the control would just skip to the next statement. But here in if else we have the based depending upon the condition, we can even execute the true statement plus even the false statement also, depending upon the condition. Now here we shall see the syntax here. Look at this. It's called as a two-way branching statements. It is called as a, are you looking? We have two ways here. Therefore, either true or false. Therefore, it has been called as a two-way branching. Whereas in case of flow chart, for the simple if statement, it is called as one-way branching. That means it will be executing only when we have the true part. Understood? Therefore, it is called as one-way branching. Okay. Now, look at this. Okay. See, when we have the alternative statements to execute, then we are using the if-else statement. And again, as usual, the given condition will be evaluated against for the true or false. True in the sense 1 and the false remains what the value is 0. Now if the, here look at the flowchart. This is a syntax. If in the under the parenthesis condition or the expression you should specify. If this condition is true, the statement 1 will be executed, else the statement 2 will be executed. Now this may have the more than one statement as true we can have, and more than one statement also we can have as a false statement. Moving on to the flow chart here, how do I represent this if always been represented in the form of rhombus. Now these symbols will never change, it remains as it is. So is condition, if it is true, then here what happens, statement 1 is executed. If the condition is false, then what happens, the statement 2 will be executed. So okay, 2 will be executed. Only the code here, only the code which has been associated with the given condition will be executed. That means what, here only anyone, either true statement will execute or either false statement will execute. Never the both statements cannot be executed. It is important to know that executing either one statement, 1 or 2, the compiler cannot goes to the next statement in the program. That means what, either of the statement has to be executed, either true part or false part. Only once true or false part, either of them are executed, then actually the control jumps to the next statement. Here also you can say either true or false, we have to evaluate. After that the control will go to the next statement. I hope children you are able to understand. Now moving on to the, till now whatever the explanation I have given, everything is being given in the point cert here. Okay, moving on to the program. What is the program is to find or to determine whether the shape is square or rectangle, whether the given shape whether the given shape is that is square or rectangle. Now these are the header files, that is IOStream for C in and C out, and Conio is for clear screen and get ch, IOMANIP is for the intel purpose. Okay, now here the main function we are having. Then to find out the square or the rectangle, square is what, like sides will be the same, and for rectangle either we may have length or we may have in terms of the breadth. Am I right? So here I am taking both in the form of the integer. We have taken int breadth comma height. We are taking the two variables known as breadth comma height. Okay, and then clear screen. Now here if you observe carefully, I have just declared the variables. I have to inform the compiler that I am going to use the two variables known as breadth and height of data type, that is integer. Okay, so then after that clear screen. So previous all contents which have been executed, everything will be, it will be cleared. Then after that printing, I am asking cout statement, I am asking the user to enter the value of breadth and height. If the value of breadth and height both are, if it is same, definitely it will be a square. If breadth and height if they are different, definitely it will be a rectangle one. So therefore what happens, cin breadth stream extraction breadth, after the breadth it will be the height, cin breadth and height, two values we are reading here. Now I have to check, next I have to check is if breadth is equal to height. Now let me consider the value of breadth to be as 20 and the value of height to be as 30. So once you enter, it checks for the equality. Remember, this is equals to sign. So if breadth is equal to height, that means what? If 20 is equal to 30, if 20 is equal to 30, then if so I can say it as a square, else I can say it has to be as the rectangle. That means what? I can decide and any alternative statements to be executed or not. If this condition, if it is true, then the true part of the statement will be executed. Else if this condition is false, definitely the control will execute the false part of the statement. As per this, what is the value of breadth? Breadth will be 20. Whether 20 will be equal to 30? No, my condition is fail. Therefore, whether will it execute this statement or this statement? Definitely, once my condition is failed means definitely it will have to execute the false part of the statement. Therefore, on the output screen, I could see the output as it is rectangle. I hope children you are able to understand. Let me execute this program and show you so that you will get a idea how it works. I have already saved the program here. Open. I think it should be the shape. I'm just checking the program name. I had given as shape.cpp. Here I have given. Now look at this. I've written the same code. Okay. Now go for the first compilation. Errors are 0. After that you need to run your code. When you run your code, see it is asking enter the value of breadth and height. Let me give as 1, 2, 3 and then space. I'll give would be breadth. Okay, then I'll give 2, 3. Okay, now these are the two numbers. If both are same, it should print me as it's a square, else it should print me it's a rectangle. Can you see it is giving me as rectangle because both breadth and height are not equals to. Clear? One more output I'll show you here. Just need to run. And what will be the value here? I can give 25, breadth value also and height value also. I'll give as 25 only. When I write, it is giving me it is square. That means what I'm trying to tell is the if else is saying to be as a two-way branching. Either of the statement it will execute. Remember, either of the statement, either true part or either the false part of the statement will be executing. That is what is the if else statement is about. Moving on to the next program here, the greatest of two numbers. Yeah, we shall go to the next program here, the greatest of two numbers. I hope this program would be very easy for you all to understand. So I have written all the header files which are being necessarily required, and then void main I have written, and then because the greatest of two numbers it is, definitely I will take one variable to that is a and b value to read the values. Okay, so clear screen and then see out, enter the two numbers. When we are asking the user to enter the two numbers, the user may enter 10 and 100. Now greatest of two numbers means definitely I need to use the if else statement here. So what I'll do, if a is greater than b, if a is greater than b, then print see out a is the greatest. What if a is not the greatest one? Then else it has to print me as b is the greatest. That means isn't it that is if else helping you to either to execute this true statement or to execute the false statement. I hope you are able to understand. Now when you are asking scene A, B, whatever you are entering through the keyboard as 10 will be placed in the A and 100 will be placed in B. So what if you interchange these values? You can even give scene B stream extraction and then followed by A also when you write it. That case B value will become 10 and A value will become 100. Is that clear? Now let me execute and show you how it will work. One second, children. The file name here it will be that I have given as greatest. I have given, yes, greatest I got. So open. Now look at here. Here I have taken the values as x and y. You can take a and b. You can take x and y. Purposely I have taken the different values here as x and y so that you all can understand it. So then again I am asking the user to enter the two numbers and then I am reading the two values. So maybe the user have given here 5,000 and 10,000 they have given, and I have to check if 5,000 is greater than the 10,000. If so, I need to print what? 5,000 is the greatest, else the 10,000 is greatest. As per the program, 10,000 definitely it is a greater. So here what happens? Once whether 5,000 is greater than 10,000, no, my condition fails. Therefore, the true part will be skipped and the false part will be executed, and it gives me as 10,000 is the greatest one. Let me execute, compiling 0, and then I should run the code. When you run the code, let me give the value as 1000 and let me give the values as 5,000. Understood? When I give these two values, press enter. See here, it is giving me 5000 is the greatest. That means what? Either this statement should execute or this statement should be executed. That's how we can use the if else statement. One more, if you want, I'll just execute here. I can give any dodging value, you give it and just check which is the greatest. Can you see? 784 would be the greatest one. Children, I hope you are able to understand the programs as well as the concept. In our next video, we shall study like how to determine the year as a leap year, and one more program to find whether the input character is lowercase and uppercase. Then we shall proceed with the nested if statement. I hope children today's sessions you find it interesting, and please do practice the programs whatever is being taught and to try to trace the program. Thank you students. Take care of your health.